Something huge just hit the RV world, and nobody saw it coming. 3 million like-new rigs just dumped on the market overnight. Dealers are slashing prices, lenders are freezing credit, and buyers are flooding auctions hoping to score a deal. But this isn't your average clearance. It's the biggest RV market reset since 2008, those six-figure Class A's, dropping faster than anyone can believe. And the scary part? This wave isn't over. The next one's already loading. So before you buy, sell, or trade, here's what's really going on this November. The headlines were true. It started with whispers, then screenshots. By early November 2025, those whispers turned into hard numbers that no one could ignore. Across auction sites and dealer networks, more than 3 million like-new recreational vehicles, mostly 2022 through 2024 models, hit the market almost overnight. Drone footage from Indiana and Texas showed endless rows of gleaming fifth wheels and motorhomes stretching toward the horizon, their chrome catching the low winter light like a parking lot of abandoned promises. These were not repos from decades past. They were rigs that still smelled new, some with less than 1,000 miles on the odometer. Auction records verified it. Units once listed at $139,000 were closing under the hammer at $104,000. A Thor 4 wins that fetched six figures last summer now sold for $79,000. Dealers who once bragged about record wait lists were quietly rewriting ads with bold red markdowns. The flood was visible from space, literally in satellite photos that showed storage lots clearing faster than factories could ship replacements. The question spread through forums and coffee shops alike. Why would dealers take losses this steep if demand was truly healthy? Something beneath the surface had snapped, and November exposed it all. To understand the crash, you have to rewind to when the good times fooled everyone into thinking they'd never end, from boom to backfire. The seeds of this collapse were planted during the pandemic boom of 2020 and 2021. Lockdowns made open roads look like freedom, and stimulus money turned that fantasy into orders. Manufacturers ran double shifts, cranking out new rigs as if the party would last forever. In May of 2022, total shipments hit their highest point on record, an 11.8% jump year over year. The industry mistook emergency demand for permanent change. Families lined up to buy, convinced that a life on wheels was safety, and adventure rolled together. Banks approved loans at historic lows, social feeds filled with sunsets, new decals, and talk of mobile freedom. But by 2024, the same ingredients that fueled the rise began to sour. Fuel costs doubled, interest rates climbed, and those long-term loans started feeling heavier. Suddenly, owners were trying to sell what they had just bought. Lots filled faster than highways. The bubble had flipped itself inside out. Factories kept building because contracts required it, but dealers stopped ordering. By the time manufacturers hit the brakes, warehouses were already jammed. It was a delayed reaction, the kind that looks invisible until it's catastrophic. Production slowed, yet inventory exploded. The question became unavoidable. If factories were cutting output, how did the market still drown in supply? The answer lies inside every dealer's back office, where a single financing system turned optimism into a ticking debt bomb. If you've already seen prices crash in your area, hit the thumbs up and drop your state in the comments. Real stories map this market faster than headlines ever will. The hidden gatekeeper. Floor plan debt. Behind every glossy showroom sits a spreadsheet that decides whether a dealer survives. It's called floor plan financing, a line of credit that allows dealers to stock inventory before it's sold. During the boom, that credit felt like free money. Interest hovered near 2%, and lenders begged to expand limits. But by 2025, those rates had quietly tripled. Every unsold rig was suddenly costing its owner $50 a day in interest alone. Leaked lender bulletins from October showed the tone change. Reassess collateral risk, accelerate repayment schedules. That was corporate language for sell it now or lose your credit line. Dealers who hesitated watched their accounts tighten overnight. Smaller lots faced impossible math. sell below cost, or watch interest compound into extinction. The smart ones dumped inventory early. The stubborn ones tried to hold out and bled cash until repossession teams appeared at dawn. Even the big names weren't immune. Multi-state groups started bundling dozens of units for wholesale just to clear space and reduce exposure. Floor plan debt had become the silent gatekeeper of the market, forcing liquidation without a single news headline. It wasn't consumer demand that triggered the dump. It was the banks pulling the plug. When lenders stop extending credit, liquidation doesn't happen slowly. It happens overnight, and November became the reckoning. Proof of that reckoning is everywhere you look, on the ground, under fluorescent lights, stamped with VIN numbers and dated sale sheets, receipts on the ground. Step into any regional auction this month, and you can see the truth under harsh white light. A 2023 Jayco Elante once listed for $122,000 sold for $87,000. A barely broken-in Winnebago Mini Winnie dropped from $104 to $78. Each closing bid feels less like a sale and more like an admission of defeat. Screenshots from dealer management systems confirm the pattern. Average markdowns between October and mid-November reached 27%. R-vee trader listings show identical units repriced twice in 10 days. At storage yards outside Elkhart, drone footage captured long rows of motorhomes being loaded onto transports bound for bulk buyers in Texas and Florida, dealers who plan to flip them before the year ends. The receipts are undeniable. VIN numbers, timestamps, final bids. This isn't rumor or exaggeration. It's math, written in depreciation and desperation. The flood is real, and it's only begun to drain. The market correction everyone whispered about all summer finally broke open, proving that what looked like stability was just leverage on borrowed time. And those markdowns, they were only phase one. What comes next will hit the dealers harder than the buyers can imagine, and it's already starting to show in the numbers. Floor plan prison. Behind every shiny pitch, there's a spreadsheet quietly running the show. Dealers do not own most of the rigs on their lots. They borrow them, funded by floor plan credit lines that charge daily interest until the unit sells. During the boom, those numbers looked harmless. At 2% interest, a $70,000 trailer cost less than $4 a day to carry. Now, with rates hovering near 7%, that same rig bleeds more than $40 daily. One unsold fifth wheel racks up over $1,200 a month in pure interest, and most dealers carry dozens at once. A redacted ledger from a Midwestern dealership shows the spiral clearly. Unit 22148, 221 days unsold. Interest accrued, $8,300. Multiply that by 100 rigs, and the debt becomes unbearable. Every morning the balance grows, whether a customer walks in or not. Dealers try to mask the pain with weekend blowouts and clearance banners, but the math refuses to lie. Each unsold unit eats the next one's profit before it leaves the lot. Managers whisper the same phrase, "We are selling time, not trailers." To escape, they dump stock at auction, where truth has no filter. Step inside those auction halls, and you can watch the illusion of value dissolve in real time. Under the fluorescence. Auction Truth Serum. November auctions feel like confession booths. Under humming fluorescent lights, the pretense of retail pricing disappears. Dealers who once smiled through showroom tours now stand behind their own rigs, paddles trembling, hoping someone, anyone, will bid high enough to cover their loans. The auctioneer's chant rolls fast, but the numbers fall slow. A 2023 Class A coach that listed for $200,000 stops cold at $127. No takers. The hammer drops at $110. Mannheim's closing sheet for the second week of November tells the same story. Average class. A price is down 34% from spring levels. Class C down 19, towables off 11. Buyers call it opportunity. Sellers call it survival. Each sale clears space, but deepens the wound. Dealers accept losses today to keep the lights on tomorrow. Some do not even attend their own auctions. They send brokers instead, unwilling to watch the carnage firsthand. The proof is everywhere. Reserve prices erased in pen. VIN numbers marked must move, and whispered side deals between competitors who once guarded territories. The lanes reveal the market's real face, stripped of marketing and optimism. For the first time in years, what something is worth depends only on what another human will risk paying for it. But auctions are only mirrors. They reflect what is already dying upstream. The factories that once fed these lots now echo with silence. To grasp how deep this runs, you have to drive north to Indiana, where the heartbeat of American RV manufacturing has begun to fade. Factory silence in Indiana. In northern Indiana, the sound of drills and welders used to fill the air from dawn until dusk. Today, that rhythm is gone. In Elkhart County alone, WARN notices filed through October list more than 1,000 layoffs across suppliers making cabinetry, axles, and insulation. Parking lots outside plants sit half-empty. Cafeterias once packed with second-shift workers now serve a handful of contractors packing up tools. Local diners cut hours, and gas stations near the industrial park remove night shifts. A line worker named Tom described it plainly to local reporters. When the orders stopped, we knew before the bosses did. Trucks quit showing up. County officials confirm that production output fell by nearly 40% between spring and fall. Factories cannot justify keeping assembly lines running when unsold inventory still covers acres of asphalt nationwide. What used to be the symbol of steady Midwestern employment has turned into a waiting room for pink slips. The shutdown ripple does not stop at the factory gate. Transport companies, parts suppliers, even sign makers feel the pullback. Every missing shipment upstream means another lost sale downstream. Indiana built the dream of mobility, but that dream now sits idle under plastic wrap. As factories go dark, another pipeline starts filling. One built not on new orders, but on repossessions. And while factory floors fall quiet, another kind of noise is growing louder, the rumble of tow trucks, the repo wave. The repossession surge is the hidden current feeding November's flood. When buyers stretched 10-year loans at record low rates in 2021, few imagined what a 7% world would feel like. By mid-2025, variable rate adjustments pushed monthly payments hundreds of dollars higher. Combine that with shrinking resale values, and you get negative equity everywhere. Owners owe more than their rigs are worth, and lenders have run out of patience. October recovery data shows motorhome repos up 42% year over year. Tow trucks arrive before dawn, filling Dallas yards with near-new rigs still wearing family stickers. For every unit taken, 2 more default. Lenders rush to recover value. The repos feed directly into the same auctions already drowning in excess. Every new load drives prices lower, pulling loyal owners underwater and freezing trade-in values. Dealers cannot stop it. Banks will not wait. What began as a supply correction has become a recycling loop of debt and depreciation. Beneath those repos, however, hides the next danger: units damaged, flooded, or title washed, waiting to snare desperate buyers who think a bargain means safety. The market's next phase is darker still, and it is already taking shape in the shadows of those auction yards. City slide, country crush. The November dump did not strike evenly across the map. It started in the big cities, Florida, Texas, Indiana, where the supply chain runs thick and the storage yards never sleep. Drone shots over Orlando and Dallas show the pattern clearly. Rows of late-model rigs stretching for acres, each tagged with new markdown stickers every few days. A regional dealer in Fort Worth summed it up simply: "We're discounting faster than buyers can drive in." The math proves him right. Listing data shows urban inventories ballooned by 40% in less than 1 month. Metro dealers face higher rent, higher payroll, and higher floor plan costs, so they panic first. Their lots become ground zero for markdowns that spread outward like weather fronts. By contrast, rural regions, Montana, Idaho, parts of Kentucky, held firm at first. Local buyers treat RVs as tools, not toys, and they buy cash more often than credit. But even those holdouts feel the pressure now that lenders have tightened credit scores and reduced approvals. The rural advantage fades as auctions flood back roads with cheap units. To spot a true desperation zone, watch the ads. When a dealer drops the word below cost, they're signaling a cash flow crisis. That's where negotiation turns into opportunity. Still, even if you find the right zip code, the next trap hides in plain sight. The category itself can decide whether you win or drown. Because in this market, not all rigs are falling at the same speed, and knowing which tier is sinking fastest can save you thousands before you even walk the lot. Winners and sinkers by class. Every collapse has a hierarchy, and in the R-vee world, it starts from the top. The numbers tell the story. Class A motorhomes, those bus-sized rigs once selling for more than $200,000, have lost roughly 35% of their resale value since last spring. High insurance costs, diesel prices, and tightening credit have turned them into liabilities on wheels. Many now sit unsold at wholesale auctions, their owners unable to cover payments larger than mortgages. Class C models dropped 18%, but remain family favorites. Towables and pop-ups fell only 9%, staying stable thanks to low storage and towing costs. For budget buyers, these smaller rigs offer rare breathing room and far less financial risk. This depreciation pyramid rewrites the logic of luxury. The higher the sticker, the harder the fall. What once symbolized success now signals exposure. The trick for buyers is to strike where depreciation has already done the heavy lifting. Buying a discounted Class C today often means less future loss than grabbing a Class A bargain that still has further to fall. But even if the numbers look perfect, a hidden danger lurks beneath some of those glossy exteriors. Because behind every freshly detailed coach, there could be a story buried deep inside the paperwork, and it might smell like mold, not money. Zombie R-vees exposed. They shine under showroom lights, smell faintly of polish, and come with clean titles. But many of these like-new bargains are corpses dressed in chrome. Across flood zones and hurricane paths from Louisiana to Florida, thousands of damaged R-vees were written off by insurers in the last 2 years. Instead of being scrapped, they were bought in bulk, patched up cosmetically, and quietly slipped back into circulation. It's called title washing. One state reissues paperwork without marking the prior loss, turning a total wreck into a used unit. A Carfax on a 2023 trailer shows flood loss in August, retitled by October, listed for $35,000. Walls gleam, but moisture hides beneath, and within months, corrosion spreads. Dealers, desperate to move stock, often ignore or conceal the truth. For buyers, spotting zombies takes vigilance. Always check VINs through federal databases, not just dealer sites. Demand moisture readings and look under seals, vents, and floor corners for discoloration. One overlooked sign can cost thousands in repairs. The bargains most buyers brag about online often turn into rolling money pits within the year. Even verified rigs can hide losses, and the only defense left is arithmetic. To survive this market, you must know how to run the numbers before emotion blinds you. Because when the hype fades, math becomes your flashlight, shining through every coat of wax straight to the truth. If you want proof before panic, hit subscribe right now. Every week we track the real numbers, leaked dealer lists, and timing windows that keep your wallet one step ahead. X-ray vision. Real value math. In a panic market, emotion is expensive and math is free. Smart buyers now treat each potential rig like an equation, not a fantasy. Start with the current wholesale value. The real number auction houses are closing it this week. Add condition adjustments for mileage, age, and options. Subtract the cost of visible repairs and another 10% cushion for what you cannot see. That final figure becomes your ceiling. Never cross it. A 2023 Jayco lists at $50,000, sells wholesale for $37,000. Add 2 for mileage, subtract 3 for repairs, 2 for buffer. Your ceiling is $34,000. State it calmly. Stay silent. Precision forces respect. Dealers fold when math speaks. Use resources like J.D. Power, Black Book, and local auction results for your baseline. Compare at least 3 real transactions, not listed prices. Every week you wait, data shifts, so refresh before each negotiation. Numbers are your X-ray vision. They strip away emotion, revealing the true bones beneath the brochure gloss. When you let the math, not the mood, drive your decision, you turn a chaotic market into an open playbook. But timing still decides who wins. The next move, the when behind the how, is the line between saving thousands and missing the final wave of the dump. Cash is kryptonite if you use it right. In a collapsing market, cash should be power, but used the wrong way, it becomes a flashing warning light that kills your leverage. Dealers love financed buyers because lenders hide the real margins. With cash, every number sits in the open, and that makes them defensive. A leaked dealer training memo from September spells it out. Cash buyers eliminate back-end profit opportunities, limit discounts, close fast. Translation: If you announce you're paying cash up front, you just told them you're their smallest payday. The smarter play is silence. Negotiate as if you'll finance, let them chase rate approvals and incentives, and only when the paperwork reaches its final stage do you switch. A typical exchange sounds like this. Actually, I'll be using certified funds. Let's finalize the out-the-door total. That line resets control in your favor. Dealers hate reprinting contracts, so they often concede a few hundred or even a few thousand to keep the process smooth. Cash also shortens the window of risk. When no lender must approve the deal, you can close on your terms and walk if a last-minute fee appears. Liquidity beats urgency every time. Still, even cash means nothing if you enter at the wrong moment. Because timing, not money, decides who walks away with value, and the calendar itself is the real price chart hiding in plain sight. Timing windows, the two. Over the last 7 years, data from J.D. Power and R-vee Trader has revealed 2 clear windows when prices consistently cave, and a half window that only appears during crises like this. The first window opens in late winter, between February and March, when dealers clear floor plan debt before the spring rush. They quietly slash prices to avoid interest buildup. The second window arrives every early autumn, when next year's models roll in and current year stock turns radioactive overnight. Manufacturers push incentives, dealers dump leftovers, and buyers with patience score 10 to 20% off retail. The half window hits when panic meets pressure, like now, November 2025. Auctions overflow, storage bursts, credit freezes. Smart buyers strike late in week 3 as dealers plead with lenders and sticker prices finally crack under mounting floor plan debt. Timing is everything. A seasonal chart from 2018 through 2025 shows the rhythm clearly. Predictable dips every winter and fall, then a sharp trough whenever the market corrects. The pattern repeats because human fear repeats. Knowing when to buy matters, but location decides how much you save. Because some regions bleed faster than others, and reading the map can mean the difference between a quiet deal and a costly detour. Safe zones and red zones. Every liquidation wave leaves pockets of calm and clusters of chaos. In November's SHAKEUP, the red zones glow brightest around factory states, Indiana, Texas, and Florida, where dealer inventories tower and lenders monitor every floor plan line. Heat maps from regional trackers show average markdowns in these hubs running 30% deeper than the national mean. Those are the danger zones for sellers, but prime targets for cash-ready buyers. Look to smaller Midwest and rural towns, where supply stays steady. Watch freight, not ads. Steady deliveries with no buyers signal liquidation. When dealer language shifts from discounted to must sell, you found a collapsing lot ready for quiet negotiation. Mapping the market by desperation, not geography, gives you real-time radar. Avoid zones where ads scream below cost too early. That usually signals flood damaged or repo stock arriving from other states. The sweet spot is the dealer who needs cash flow, but still guards reputation. Find them, and your offer math becomes the final shield that locks in safety before the next wave hits. The November dump isn't the end of the story. It's the signal before the next reset. Prices are still shifting, credit's tightening, and the smart money's already moving. Stay alert, verify everything, and never rush a deal built on fear. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and turn every panic sale into your advantage before the December wave hits.